can see in front of you light, shadow and reflection. In details I will be trying to explain about this, and you have to understand this when I will be explaining regarding this. Okay, so I think we should start now. We we have now that this is what we are going to explore in this. Yes, about now. Next, introduction of light. Introduction of light. We are starting from beginning. Here, can you tell me what do you think by light? In some words, we can explain it by saying we are able to see any objects. Okay, whatever you can see around you. Why are you able to see all things that are surrounding you? Why? This is question. And when you will have an answer of this question, then you can understand. Then you have known that yes, this is what is reason of why are we able to see all things that are surrounding us. All things. Okay. So answer would be what? All things we can see. Why? Because of light. Because of light that you feel, you can see in your house. They light falls on the surface. I am talking about surface. Light falls on the surface, and then they turns into another direction by hitting on the surface of the object. Now here you can ask, then not why are they not entering into objects? Because of object is opaque. Because of object is opaque. That's why light is not entering throughout the object. They cannot enter because of object is opaque. That's why we will understand of opaque object. What is it? We will understand. So here, if light is falling uh, in your you will have what bulb in your house, then you can imagine by looking, not don't look at glowing bulb, because glowing bulb can damage your eyes. But you, some lights, direction of some lights you can observe, they are falling on surface. Okay, direction of light rays, will be what? Different. Okay, so in some words I am trying to tell you that all lights are falling on this object, on that object, on this object, on that object, and that's how they after hitting on the surface of the object, they are turning into different direction. Again they reflected, they they hits on the surface of the other object after hitting the surface on the first object. Then again it happens again and again. This process will keep going on because of light is coming. That's why. So that's how we are able to see all things that are surrounding us because of light. Here, when you turn off light, then you can easily say that yes, there is a dark room. You cannot see, you cannot see anything because of light is a turn off. Okay, now if you turn switch off, then it means you can see black, dark. Okay, dark, black, dark. So it is happening because of there is a lack of a light. That's why. So to see any object, we should have light. we should have source light. Then we can easily see. Then we can easily see. So here, in some sentences, you can define it by saying there are some objects in front of you, and a bulb is giving light. Okay, a bulb is giving light. Now lights are coming from that bulb. Now all those rays of bulb are falling on the surface. It means they are hitting on the surface, and if object will be opaque, then they will turn into another direction, and like that they do. And then we see now here, if they are falling on the surface, then we can see yes, this is object, name of this object, this, that. Okay, then we say yes. Okay, so it happened because of a reflection of light. Now one thing I would like to say here, you can see light travels in a straight line. It is a sentence which is giving a statement, you can say, which is giving a fact. Okay, it is a universal truth. Line will always travel. No, light will always travel in a straight line. Always. Okay, you cannot observe any light which will be traveling in curved line like this. No, you cannot see. Okay, that's why I'm saying it is a universal truth. They will always travel in a straight line. Always remember. Here you can see I have this figure. You can see this figure. What is happening here? Light is coming from a lamp. I think lamp, it would be lamp. Light is coming from this lamp, and all some lights are falling. Here I am talking about some lights are falling on the table. And here you can see there is a book, table. You can see all this book and table because of light is falling, and light is coming from lamp. Okay, and they are falling on this surface of a book and on the surface of a table. That's why you can see. And some lights hit, or some lights reach to our eyes. Now, okay, I hope you got answer of this question. And always remember, it is a fact, light will always travel in straight line. They cannot travel in curved line. So here one is a question. There is a one question. Why are we able to see objects? So answer is because of light falls on the surface. Okay, that's why. Now next slide. Here, source of light. Source of light. There are two sources of light, and here between them is a user difference. There is a user difference between them. Even you can remember it. Okay, but by understanding it, you can remember it for a long time. Here first is luminous objects. Also remember, there are a lot of objects, as I told you. If a object is opaque, then then light will take another direction. Otherwise you can say light will take turn when they will hit on the surface of the object. Then so here I said object should be what, opaque. Okay, now here we are living in our daily life. We can imagine there are a lot of objects. Okay, we see. Even you can right now you can see, you will have a lot of objects. There are a lot of objects. Now we are dividing all this lot of objects in three categories, in four categories. First you can see luminous objects. First this luminous object. You have here you have three figures, and this side you have three figures. Now luminous objects we are talking about. Look, you will take a object. Okay, but here, yes, you can take a torch or a flame candle, sun. Here one thing you can observe from this figure, what they have have their own light. Okay, they have their own light. We are not talking about natural light, artificial light. Okay, I would like to explain about natural light and artificial light here. Then I will discuss about luminous and non-luminous object. Look, natural lights are those objects which have their own lights. For example, sun. Sun sun is made by nature. Okay, sun is made by nature. We didn't make them. Sun is made by nature and they have their own light. Okay, we didn't give any kind of light to them, so they have already own light. And sun is made of nature, so that's why it is said that sun, star will come in the category of nature lights because of they have their own light. Okay, human didn't provide any kind of light to sun, to stars. That's why. Now there are some objects which can emit their light, but all those source lights were made by human. That's why it is said that all these lights that can emit their light, but all these objects will be made by humans. So that's why all these objects will be considered as artificial lights. Okay, artificial which means artificial which means human made. Okay, who made? Human made. Here torch, flame, candle, this two who made? Human made. That's why in one word we say this is artificial lights. Now here you cannot say that sun who made or human made. Human made sun, you cannot say. It is not a fact. Okay, it is not true. Now here non-luminous objects. Non-luminous object here. It is a very simple object. Okay, this type of object, there are a lot of objects. This type of object. For example, this is a marker, you can see. So here any kind of light this marker does not have. Okay, does not have. Here you can see here book, you can take an example. You can take a book as an example. Book cannot there emit light because they don't have any kind of light. That's why. Wood 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 also does not have their own light, any kind of. They cannot emit any kind of light because they don't have. That's why. Moon, when it comes to moon, so here we need to be clear that it does not have any kind of light. Yes, it is true. It is true, yes. Hmm. We see some lights on moon. So all those lights are not of moon. All those lights are reflecting. All those lights are coming from planets, and then the lights are falling on the surface of the moon, and then they turn, and this a turning direction of lights, so we say this is a reflected ray. This is a reflected ray. So that's how we that's how lights from moon reaches to us. But it is not of but it does not, moon does not have their own light. Now next, types of materials, let's understand. In previous slide we divided two types of source light. Now in this slide we will divide types of materials in three parts. First transparent, second translucent, and third opaque object. Look, all these are objects. Okay, first point you have to be clear, all these are objects. In this slide I am talking about, in this slide, transparent, translucent, opaque object, all these are all those are objects. All these are objects. First you can say transparent. Now transparent is object, we know, but which kind of, what's the difference between them? That is what we are understanding. That is what we are understanding. Between difference is very simple. is very clear. Here you can see a glass. Okay, you can put a glass in front of you, and if you, I am telling you definition of a transparent, you can mm, practical example I am giving you. You can put a glass in front of you. Now if you are this side, and behind that glass you can put anything. For example, you can put marker, you can put, otherwise anything you can put behind the glass. Now you tell me, glass, which type of glass? You can see this you can this figure, glass which is in this figure, this type of glass you put in front of you. Now if you cannot see anything which is behind glass, you cannot see, it means this glass is not transparent. This glass, if this glass is like this, then you can see area behind this. So like this objects we consider as a transparent. Okay, as a transparent. Next is a translucent. Now transparents are those objects, you can take any kind of object. If that object is giving permission to allow, is giving permission to see the area behind this object, then you can say this object is a transparent object, because of it is giving permission to see area behind that object, behind the object. Now next is a translucent. Before it, I would like to explain opaque object. It is very simple to understand. Then why, I will tell you. Opaque object, it is a very I am telling you again, very 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 very. Always remember, lights will come. Okay, lights will come, and all these lights will hit on the object, but they will not they will not cross the object. They will turn into another direction. Here in the case of glass, what was happening? Light was coming, and they were passing through the glass, because of a glass was transparent. That's why. And now in the case of opaque, oh, light will come, but they will, after hitting on the surface of the object, they will take another direction. This will happen when object is opaque, like house, like car, like vehicles, like boards, like walls, doors. Okay, so light will come and they will turn into another direction. So it means, in other sentence, we can also say that in front of you there is a what? In front of you there is you can say a table, otherwise a board. Now you cannot see anything behind this object. You cannot see. You will not be able to see anything, because of light is going and falling on that surface, on surface of that object, and they are turning into different direction. That's why, reason is that light is not passing through through the object. That's why. Clear? Now let's understand a translucent. Here look, uh, object will be blur. Okay, some area you can see and some area you cannot see. You will not be able to see some area, and you will be able to see some area. It will happen when you object will be like this, translucent. Some area, okay, some area, it means blur. Object will be blur. Object will be blur. Always remember. Now, so these were types of materials. Next is a shadow. Next is a shadow. Here always remember, shadow can be formed only by opaque object. You should have two things. You should have two things. First is source light. It is very compulsory. And second, opaque object. Okay. And to see any kind of shadow of object, then you should also have a screen, so that you can see what, shadow. Okay, shadow of the object. Okay, you can observe. So here you have all these three things. Now just put a what, a material, as you can see in this figure. Put a material, and in front of uh, put a light source. Okay, first of all put a light source, and in front of light source put a object. But remember, object should be opaque. Object should be opaque, remember. Then then there will be shadow. Object will form shadow. Now here you can see in this figure, light is passing. No. Light is falling on the balloon, and some lights are passing, which is top, which is at the top, and which is at the bottom. But between these lights are not passing through this balloon, because of balloon is a opaque object. That's why. Now you can easily say that lights are turning into different direction. That's why. And in other word, you can also say that object is blocking the light. Who is blocking? Object is blocking. Object is not giving allowed to pass the light which is coming from source light. It is blocking the light. That's why there is a shadow. And and here, if there is no light, then there will not be any kind of a shadow. If there is a light which is falling on the opaque object, then opaque object will form a shadow. Always remember, color of a shadow will be black. And always remember, to form any kind of object, you should have a opaque object. Otherwise, if you are taking translucent, then some which you which some area of a translucent object, if you cannot see, then that that area that area you can see object of that area. But transparent area of a translucent object will not form any kind of object. Okay, always remember, color of this shadow will be black. And if you wanted to know what will be size of the shadow, so it will depend on what is the position, what is the place of light, what is the place of a source light. And okay, it will depend on distance between object and source light. Okay, size and shape, it will depend on uh, if you wanted to know size, then it will depend on distance between source light and opaque object. And if you want to know what would be shape of opaque object when light is falling on on the surface of opaque object, then what will be shape? Then I would say, uh, to observe shape, then here it will depend on object. What is the shape of object? You can say here, shape of object, this balloon is it is looking like a circle. But one point more you can add, which is uh, all things will not provide original shape in the form of a shadow. Always remember, here you can see here, shape of this balloon is something perfect in circle shape. but there are some objects which will not provide original shape in the form of a shadow. It can happen. Okay. So here we understood what how to observe a shadow, how to form a shadow. So here in this slide we understood. Now reflection of light, always remember, by reflection of light we can see our image inside mirror. Okay, we can see any duplicate image of a original object on surface of object if the surface of the object is a plane where you placed them. Okay, then here if let's understand this. If light is coming, okay, light is coming, and light is falling on this surface. Now you can see what, now you are able to see duplicate image of that original object in mirror. Now here light will fall on this surface of a plane mirror, and then it will turn into another direction. Always remember, in mirror we are taking which is what opaque object. Behind of the mirror will be painted area. That's why. Okay, so that's why it is a opaque object, and that's why a light will come and then it will turn into another direction. So this process is known as a reflection of light. Okay, from this figure, here you can see from this figure, this incident ray is represented as a I. Okay, I, and here this reflected ray, it will be represented as R. Now here we have an angle this side, and here plane mirror we can consider it as a straight line, and here straight line you can say it is a right angle. Yes, mathematics, now we are observing mathematics. Why? Because both are siblings, it is said, and it is true. Okay, it is true, both are siblings. That's why some mathematics rules will come in the study of physics. Now here a straight line, it is a what, it is a sign of right angle. Yes, it is truly a sign of right angle. Yes, it is a perpendicular. When we say it is a perpendicular line is a perpendicular, then we are crystal clear that it will provide a right angle. Yes, so here this side of right angle will be 90 degree, and this side of right angle will be 90 degree, and sum of both will give how much, 180 degree. That's why we are saying downward surface is a, we are taking this as a straight line. And now sum of this both angle will be what, 180 degree. That's why here one law for reflection of light, always you remember, I I angle of I will be equal to angle of R. It is a property of a reflection of that, so that's why it will happen. It is a truth. That's why. So okay, so angle of I from incidence to the normal line, this angle, and it will be equal to angle of reflected ray, which is from normal to reflected. Okay, so this both will be equal to each other. So we have understood about this. That's it. That's all. We